Have you checked out Change Cars yet? That's the website where you can find your next car because they only list cars from franchise dealers, giving you total peace of mind. That's changecars.co.za.
Mercedes-Benz EQB 350. But what does 350 actually stand for over here? Well, back in the old days, it would have meant it's a 3.5-litre engine under the bonnet. But of course, being EQB, this is not one of those. This is electric power under the bonnet. So it's a completely new world, new way of naming cars. But let's check it out and you'll see what I'm talking about. Well, looking from the outside, it's very difficult to tell the difference actually between the EQB and the GLB. The most obvious sign is the front grille, which you can see is not a grille at all, but it's closed off because the electric engine does not need any cooling as normal expected. Another sign, of course, that it's electric or hybrid or modern new energy as such is the blue above the daytime running lights. Somehow you expect to see blue signs and blue somewhere on cars with new energy. Coming round, of course, an extra on this car is the upgraded 20-inch alloy wheels. And again, you'll notice the blue on these wheels. Again, yet another sign it's a new energy vehicle. Of course, cladding around the wheel arches, cladding down the side of the vehicle because it is an SUV. And there's the EQB sign on the side over there, where it's the first clue, really, if you look closely, that'll tell you it is electric. But it's a big square vehicle, as you can see, SUV, almost similar in shape to maybe a GLS or even a G-Wagon. It's got a bit of a hint of both of those. Pretty bulky, pretty squared off, and nice big significant roof rails on top over there as well. But obviously you can see the space, and that's what good ground clearance too. So these all come into it and they all count. But a big feature of the EQB and GLB is the space in the back seat. The driver's seat is always set for myself as I jump into the back, and it's almost stretch out comfort over there. Have a look at that legroom. It's really pretty exceptional. And headroom as well. More than enough. Plenty for me with my hat on. A nice feature, of course, is you've got air vents in the center at the rear, and you've got a USB at the back over there for rear seat passengers. These are all the features you want and would expect from a vehicle of this sort. Nice big panoramic or dual sunroof, you can call it what you want, because there is a separate section over the front and the rear. But of course, the screens slide backwards and forwards to open or close, as you would expect from a vehicle like this. Again, nice and easy. Nice stitching on the door panels as well. Just beautifully finished overall, as you expect. Taking a look inside the boot over here, you'll see that it is a large boot, and there are the two bags over there that are for your charging cables. You've got the two different cables placed inside, nicely secured. The one is for a charger unit, whether it's a home charger or a commercial one, and the other one is if you want to use a 12-volt charger, a 12-volt plug, which will take time, but you can, of course, use that whenever you want, and that's how you charge up your EQB. Other than that, you'll see the boot, as I said, is a very, very good size. Under the board over there, well, no spare wheel. You don't expect that anymore, but it has got a compressor for pumping up a flat tire if that's what you encounter. Run flats, we all know. I'm not going to say too much more about those. But you can obviously drop the rear seats 2/3, 1/3. And I said it's a good size boot. Besides having to crane my neck a little bit, I would say this is a 1.5 to 2 Allen boot, as I now measure them in new Motor Matters speak. Well, I would expect on a car of this sort, press button and the tailgate closes automatically for you. And you'll see another badge over there that says 4MATIC. That's telling you that this is an all-wheel drive version. And, well, it's not for off-roading in any way. Nope. It's more for safety and for giving you extra security on the road. This engine puts out, can you believe, 215 kilowatts and a massive 520 Newton meters of torque.
We are becoming used to the uncanny silence while you're driving in an electric car. It is uncanny, but I am slowly getting used to it. What's more difficult to get used to is when you lift your foot off to approach a stop, for example, the regenerative braking you get from an electric engine slows the car down quicker than one's used to with a normal petrol or diesel engine, with an internal combustion, as they call it. So that's just a change in driving style, and you very quickly do get used to it as far as I'm concerned. So I've got no issues with it. But the smoothness, the comfort, the fact that the only noises you hear are a bit of road rumble and maybe a bit of wind noise when you're on a freeway. But I mean, really, in fact, they just get exaggerated because of the silence of the engine. But when you consider that this EQB 350, as they call it, has got 215 kilowatts and 520, yes, 520 Newton meters of torque, you suddenly realize what you're dealing with over here. And just give me a moment or two and I'll show you something that's really almost scary about this car. You can see we're cruising around the suburb as we always do. I've done some open road cruising in it as well. Well, not open road, but freeway. But I just want to get around this corner. Now, again, this is a big square body, so there is a touch of body roll. But now, wait, we're just going to go around this next bend, and I want to show you something about this car. Because the power is incredible, we know that. The acceleration, the instant acceleration is amazing because of the electric power. We know that. So let's click a little button that says dynamic. And oh! I promise you I did not touch the accelerator, and I think hopefully you noticed that instant extra boost I got out of the car by going into sport mode. Believe it or not, an electric car with sport mode. They're almost contradictions of each other, but that's not the point. Let's see our 3-point turn quickly. What's going to happen? I'm not sure about this. It is a much bigger vehicle, so let's have a look. And nice and easy, quite honestly. Much easier than I expected. You notice the weighting on the steering is easy, it's light. It's an easy car to drive, and it's what you expect. It really is, and it's an absolute pleasure to drive as well, just in every condition, in every circumstance. It really is. But now, obviously, being a, hey Mercedes,
how can I help?
Open the roller blind on the sunroof.
I'm opening the roller sun blind on the sliding sunroof.
And I can never get tired of playing with that hey function, as I call it. This car has got the dual sunroofs. You'll see there's the bar across the middle, but it's got the front and the rear segments of the sunroof. So it's got features like that. You've got, of course, the full MBUX, MBUX as they call it, which gives you every feature you want through the massive infotainment screen. You've got the TFT screen in front of me. It's got auto high beams. I don't know if you can see it in front of us or not, but the car automatically put the high beams on a moment ago, which will dim if a car approaches. There you go. You see that? They just dimmed. So it's got all the spec in the world. But would you not expect that from this car? Would you not expect that from the brand? Let's be honest with you. It's as simple as that. It's got, of course, the ambient lighting, which is set to a blue color at the moment. You can change the colors as you wish, again, using the voice control. I can't get tired of playing with it, as I said to you. It's got all of those features, every single one of them. But now let's just discuss, of course, the big elephant in the room when it comes to electric cars, and that is range. Well, I read, according to the specs, it's got a range of in the region of 400 kilometers on a full charge. I've had it up to 360 odd both times, and it seems to run pretty accurately when you, of course, have a look at the instrumentation where it gives you your range to empty, as you would call it in most cases. In this case, we just call it the distance you have remaining on charge. And it certainly is pretty true to measure on that. The quality is there. The class is there, the badge is there, the technology is there, absolutely. We realize that and we know that. It's got all the safety spec in the world. Yes, I expect that as well. I hate the stalk for the gear shift that comes standard on every Merc model that's on the market. We know that. It's got paddles. I don't quite understand what the paddles are for, quite honestly, in this car. You can't see them now, but they're paddles behind the wheel. But I don't quite get those. But again, you know what, it's there. It's got all of those features. Price-wise, well, it's competitive with the market, with BMW, etc. in the electric range. I mean, just look at that effect on the dash over there with the ambient lighting. It just looks and feels space age, doesn't it? It really, really does. The space, you'll have seen earlier in the video how much room there is in the back seat. There's even a 7-seat option if you want the 2 extra seats in the rear. Up to you, as always. It's little things like that that add up and add up and add up to whatever you may want out of this car. So what's going to cost you? That's the bottom line, isn't it? Well, again, you can tick boxes for extras. You know what it's like with the brand and with its competitors. You're looking at approximately 1.4 to 1.5 million rand for a EQB fully spec'd. And I'm going to say it like that because there are a few extras you can look at. The wheels, even the paint work, it's a special color on this car, that's an extra. So one has to just think about things like that. But when you're in that range, I don't think it makes any difference. And if you want fully electric, well, there are not that many options yet, and this certainly is a great one. You're in this market, check this one out, that's for sure, for your family.